The urgency is even greater here at home. Nigerian businesses face an average of 2,560 cyber attacks every week. In our financial sector alone, insider-related fraud accounted for an estimated £20 million in losses within a single quarter of 2024. These figures are not abstract statistics. They represent vulnerabilities that can erode investor confidence, disrupt market operations, and weaken the very foundation of our economy. This is why the NGX continues to champion cyber resilience as both a leadership priority and a fiduciary responsibility. Every board member, every executive, every market participant has a role to play in protecting the integrity of our capital markets. The Cyber Smart mandate compels us to act across three critical dimensions: stay alert, empowering our people as a human firewall against social engineering and AI-driven deception; stay secure, ensuring our infrastructure is fortified, compliant, and resilient in alignment with the Central Bank of Nigeria's risk-based cybersecurity framework and other national standards; stay cyber smart, leveraging AI and intelligent automation to reduce detection time, lower breach costs, and strengthen our overall market stability. In fact, data shows that organizations adopting AI-driven security have reduced the average cost of data breach from $5.72 million to $3.84 million, shortened containment time by nearly 100 days. That is the tangible return on investing in smart, predictive defense. But technology alone is not enough. True resilience requires partnership and trust across regulators, market operators, and investors alike. Through collaboration with the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and NFIU, as well as the broader cybersecurity community, we can create a unified defense posture that protects the integrity of the Nigerian capital markets. As we gather today, let us reaffirm our shared responsibility to safeguard not only our systems, but also the confidence that drives investment and economic activities. Let us commit to leading by example, building a culture where vigilance is continuous, compliance is uncompromising, and cybersecurity is embedded in every strategic decision. Together, by staying alert, staying secure, staying cyber smart, we can uphold the resilience, integrity, and trust that define the Nigerian exchange and the markets we serve. Thank you once again for joining us. Let's learn, let's engage, and commit to staying alert, staying secure, and staying cyber smart. Thank you.
Thank you, CEO, for such an insightful opening speech. Moving on to the next item on our agenda, I would like to introduce our first guest speaker, Mr. Olajide Omogoroye. He's a seasoned cybersecurity strategist with over a decade of experience. He serves as a principal consultant at Frontless Securities. He partners with C-suite executives to de-risk complex threats landscape, build securities programs that are resilient as they are human-centered. His expertise span cloud securities, threat intelligence, governance framework with a growing focus on securing AI and ML systems, governing model risks, embodying securities into the AI development lifecycle. His approach is shaped by hands-on leadership across three pivotal, highly regulated regions: talk of Africa, North America, and Europe. He's certified as CISSP, SANS, CGCIA. He earned a master's in data science and AI in France, grounding his technical practice in artificial intelligence, ethical data privacy by design, analytical rigor, along with specialized certification in ethical hacking, networking, cloud performance, and GRC. Mr. Jide Omogoroye blends deep technical masteries with unique cross-continental perspective. I will now yield the mic to Mr. Jide as he gives us insight on the topic Think Before You Click, Defending Against Cyber Threats. Thank you, Mr. Jide. Please.
Thank you very much, Ugochi. Thank you very much, CEO, for this opportunity. And also thank you each and every one of us listening. In the next few minutes, we'll be looking at think before you click, safeguarding our assets against everyday cyber threats. And we'll be sharing ideas on how to make this a reality, how to embed it into each and every activities that we perform on a daily basis. And with that, we'll get started. Every day, what we do leads us gradually to achieving our ideals. Could be a goal, a set target that we have decided on as an organization or as an individual. And the key thing is, each thing that we do every day should tie into that overarching goal. And definitely, every goal is designed around the framework. That framework will propel each and everything we do. It could be delivering service. It could be ensuring for your family, you have security, financial security, and all these embodies or personifies us as the individual, achieving goals, achieving a purpose. Yeah, today, here we are. If I were to ask for a show of hands, how many of us have received emails like this? And how many times has it occurred to you that, don't these people get tired? I mean, though I may not be able to see you, we are virtual, but if you can do a show of hands, indicate, let's know how many might have received this. And if it has crossed your mind and you thought, don't these guys get tired or these people get tired? The fact is, they will not get tired and it will continue to evolve. Not only will it evolve, they will get smarter. AI is a hyperscaler. It helps improve processes, and as it improves processes within organizations, help individuals to structure their thinking, access information much more faster, condense it for insight within a shorter time frame that was possible before. Same tools are available to adversaries, threat actors. And yes, I too have thought about it. Don't they get tired? And they won't get tired really, because all these are driven by a business model. It's driven also by contextual information about you, the target. Reality is, you oftentimes, the individuals, employees of an organization are not targeted. Oftentimes. Of course, there are instances where you could be a specific target. Yet, we can't say it is totally random. The choice of who to choose is random. But the framework around what they do is not random. It's a carefully designed and orchestrated system, or we could call it enterprise, where the aim is to optimize the probability that they will make an opportunity, a sale, or get the other party, the unwary party, to click. Let's have a look at this. Threat actors can take different forms. Call them different names: the scammers, the hackers, or organized crime groups. And it's a process. A threat event is engineered. How do they engineer it, you may ask? Design phishing emails. You may think, why design it? Things get better. Previously, you might find typographical errors in emails, but as time progresses, threats evolve. The process has become a little bit more smarter, depending on which team is pulling off the haste. Fake websites direct you there for a purpose. Might look like Microsoft or PayPal. It's an anchor. Malicious ads and social media scams. These are different. While it may not be directly phishing, but it could set you up for a fall. With AI deepfakes, we could create a pseudo-reality, a fake reality within a space of time. Beautiful videos that embed human elements, that embed also the principles in various parts of the country or in various parts of the world where they never stepped foot in. So what is the catch? There is an exposure. The exposure is that by casting a wide net, even if we have a small percentage of success, we could be able to have a payout that is big. We send 1 million phishing emails or 1 million campaigns a day. We may need just a probability of having about 1 over, let's say 1 over 10,000 to click it. From this 1,000, from this 100, we might be able to gather credentials or impact systems, and things can begin to spiral from there. Now, what does this mean to you? There is a potential loss. There's a probability that your data could be lost. You could lose money, you could lose identity. And the core reason why we're here: degrade the organization's security posture. Now, the good news is, through awareness such as this, through constant reminders, we are able to reduce the probability of success much more further. By reducing it, it makes it harder for them to succeed in their enterprise. How do they achieve this? That's what we're looking at. What are the main factors that make it easy, that gives impetus to their enterprise? 2 things that we could look at. 1, the psychology of the target. And 2, the business model, which I had explained previously. And we'll go into a little bit more further about the enterprise. Every day we are on autopilot, and routine conditions us. While you may not be numb to what is happening around you, you are interacting with your fellow colleagues, with your family, with your friends. The rigor of routine brings about a numbness in how we perceive things. We are on autopilot. Come into the office, you check your email, you respond, you click, move some to a particular folder. Peradventure, you're working with some other third parties, check for their emails, click, look at the link, the files they sent. These are things that bring about efficiency. They make it possible for you to meet your target. For those who are highly motivated, this process this structured workflow that they have created in their daily lives have enabled them to achieve more. And there's where the danger lies. The things that you get used to, after some time, you begin not to truly see them. I'll put a C, S-E-E, in comma. Yes, you see, but do you truly see? That's the question. That's part of the things or the psychology that the attackers, the adversaries, the threat actors are going to be leveraging on. The things that you get used to, the emotional state that you are in at any point in time, all these lead to that funnel where their probability of success can either expand or further reduce. The phishing email comes disguised as a normal transaction, a normal email that you're used to. Perhaps it might even be a more targeted form of email where a third party has been compromised. Question is, will technology help out? It's a legitimate email from stolen credential of your third party or a company you're collaborating on. What are the indicators that could help you perceive that something is off? So, we had said they play a probability game. The enterprise of hackers, the enterprise of scammers is based on a probability, on the chance event that they can screen the context around which the supposed victim is operating in. It could take different forms. If it were not digital technology or IT, it could be create a context, bring him into the office, pick him up in a chauffeur-driven Jeep, hired limousine, bring him into the office, even if he thinks he's in an NPC, he might just be in a different office, or hey, he doesn't even know where NGX or the company is. Create an environment where he feels secure. Shield him away from things that could begin to make him question or doubt the whole process or the veracity of what we have created. That increases the probability of success. Anything that can reduce their probability of success, they have to optimize by reducing it. And yes, technology does do that for us in digital, within the enterprise, digital technology. Controls that have been instituted by the organization. Out of 1 million, let's assume 900,000 has been filtered out, thanks to technology. 90%, we're doing good. But then there's a 10% still out there. Out of this 10%, through awareness, 99,900 have been correctly identified for what it is. It could be that the context around these 99,900 emails were not aligned with the emotional state, with the context surrounding which the individuals that it was broadcasted out to were in. Or it could even be that the individuals were well appraised and they could detect it. Now, just 100 clicked. From these 100 credentials stolen, you could have one ransomware incident translates to cost. At no other sector is there an acute or intuitive understanding of the rules governing the laws of gold than the financial sector. here, when money changes hands or where a ransomware incident has occurred, organizations have to clean up. Profit is no longer being optimized, but cost has increased. Then certain of the laws of gold have been breached. So how do we move from being a statistics, a probability within the adversary's game, to becoming a fortress where they cannot penetrate, where we further whittle down their probability of success? Three shields of cyber defense: consistent vigilance. The first shield is about mindset, the consistent small acts. The second is self-awareness. The threat actors also bank on your emotional state. While the third is verification, which is the unwavering habit of verification. Unwavering because you keep doing it. Make sure your processes uphold verification. So, consistent vigilance, everyday importance. What do we mean by this? Protecting ourselves isn't about a single magical technology. It's built on three core principles that work together. And this still relate to the three shields of cyber defense. You are the guardian of your own digital treasury. Remember, the most dangerous click often happens when you are most vulnerable. You're angry, you're afraid of your boss, people or within your colleagues say you like asking too much questions. Why should you verify? We already know it. It's that transaction, we do it every day. You become scared. Pausing to question and verify makes these other two shields, which we'll go into, more effective. So, consistent vigilance. What do we mean by this? Your attention and data are your digital gold. Secure it from loss. Meaning, every day, be watchful. Understand that each and your every action impacts on either or both of your own personal financial status or meeting your financial goals and helping the organization meet its financial goals. Meaning, just as you will not eat anything anyone gives you, you cannot click on anything anyone sends to you. Self-awareness. Know your weakest link, which is a vulnerable state of mind. Emails come 4:30 when you're about to close, or 4:55. Don't click it. Take a step back. Think, why should it come at this dime moment? Am I in the right frame of mind to take this step? The email speaks of an urgency. Click this link or your password will no longer be active or you'll be locked out of the system. Question it. I never had a problem. Can this be Microsoft? Can Trump, can President Bola Ahmed Tinubu give crypto coins to all Nigerians that will click on the link? Question it. And the last one, the law of verification. This binds the last two together, meaning that when that first spark of doubt appears, you must act on it. This is critical. Your mind intuitively speaks to you, even in digital technology. You feel, can this be true? Then you begin to find things to validate that it is true. No, trust and verify. It's a slogan, it's a principle within machines. But for humans, when the first spark of that comes, verify. Once you are validated, then you can trust. Machines have the ability to intuitively know or identify the other party, then verify the identity claim. But you as an individual must act on the doubt. Let the verification come from the other party or from the context around it. You could also go ask the question, did this email originate from you? Did you authorize me to send this transaction? Even if the voice sounds like the CEO, even if it sounds like the CFO. Today, these things could be faked, deep fakes. Even the video could be false. You've got to question when it goes against the processes that you're used to. Bringing it all together because the time is fast spent. The first rule is about your mindset, the daily mindset of guarding your digital gold. The last 3 laws of gold says, secure your gold from loss. I mean, for those who know The Richest Man in Babylon, which is an old book, make sure that you don't invest in dubious investment schemes. While this may apply to you as an individual and you observe it in the digital sense, make sure you don't believe dubious schemes. You don't click on any link sent to you. You don't input your password just because you were told to reset it. Self-awareness, your emotional state. Be careful of the actions you take when you are most vulnerable. When you're happy, when you are overjoyed, when you're angry, you need to take a step back and look at that email again. What's off about it? Can it be true? Now, that actionable habit of always verifying, it speaks to you. When the doubt comes in, act on it. With this actionable habit of verification, the first 2 rules, or the first 2 principles, if you could call it, will be turbocharged. You are able to gain, to optimize, and use them to the fullest, such that 1, your digital goal begins to grow, the organization does not incur unnecessary costs from cyber incident. You become much better as a person, understanding your self-awareness, understanding your intuition, and how it can lead you to make even far more better decisions that you believed you were capable of. And the third, protecting your assets, making sure the gold of the organization, the data, which is also gold within the information age, is protected, whether it is yours or the organization, or both, making sure that always and at all times our actions lead to ensuring better security posture and protection of data and information. Thank you very much. With this, I'll come to the end of my presentation or our discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jide. What an insightful session. Always be vigilant, question the process if you don't trust it, and as well as verify. Thank you so much for this insightful session. I'd like to bring on our second guest speaker, Mr. Obiora Awogu. Mr. Obiora Awogu is a seasoned cybersecurity leader and a strategist, currently serving as the Chief Information Security Officer for Momo Payment Service Bank, a fintech subsidiary of MTN. He is an emerging thought leader who excels in designing and optimizing robust security programs for enterprise environments. With a deep expertise in threat prevention, incident response, and security awareness, Mr. Obiora holds multiple top-tier certifications, including CCISO, CISSP, CRISC, CDPO, and CISM, along with a Harvard certification in cybersecurity risk management and executive MBA. He is a passionate advocate for human-centric security and a dedicated mentor, actively shaping the next generation of cybersecurity talent in Africa's fintech space. At this point, I will yield the mic to Mr. Obiora as he educates us on the topic, building a human firewall, practical steps to take to stay cyber smart.
Okay, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes,
we
Mr.
can.
Obiora, we can hear you.
Oh, my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir, your screen is up.
Okay. Thank you very much. Always excited at an opportunity to discuss this kind of topics here. I want to appreciate the invite and the opportunity to share this with Nigeria Stock Exchange, its partners, and also the customers. So I don't know how many minutes do I have, so I know how to moderate my presentation. Ugochi, how many minutes do I have? Or how many hours do I
15.
have?
You
Is
have about 15 minutes, sir.
15 minutes? Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So I'll try and rush through. Okay, so first I'd like to do a reality check. Yeah, today threats, digital threats, cybersecurity threats are evolving. And the question is, as employees on our personal level, are we evolving? Because you notice today, cyber criminals don't hack systems first, they hack people. And like Jide mentioned, was sharing in his presentation, they try to exploit that human psychology, that emotion of humans to make mistakes, to trust. They try to exploit that. And you can see a staggering 90% of security incidents starts with human error. Most of them, they even start with technology failures. They start with human error. And just one click, complacency can cost an organization millions. The attacker might not even need a password in the first instance. So the question here isn't whether the threat exists, is whether we are prepared to recognize and stop them. And in this webinar, we're going to see a lot of ways how we can stop this kind of threat, how we can build ourselves and build our organization to have a very formidable human firewall. So first, I'll quickly go through a foundation of cybersecurity. Of course, in cybersecurity, you need a lot of technology, a lot of tools, but the good thing is that technology can secure systems, but only people truly protect those organizations. And that's why we need to invest in building people, in educating people, in raising our security awareness, in raising our security culture within our organization. Every employee, every partner, every user forms part of that defense perimeter. And an effective strategy begins with people. I like to say in sessions like this that we can have the most advanced firewall, the best security tools, but all those things can be rendered ineffective when one user carelessly click on a malicious link. So in a nutshell, technology can build the walls for you, build your security strategy for you, but it is people that guard those gates. It is people, privileged users, that can lead an attacker to disrupt all the investment that you've made. So what's a human firewall? Basically, I like to share that human firewall represents the most critical control layer of our defense in any organization, even in your personal life, in your personal space. A workforce that is informed and alert and even proactive in recognizing, resisting, and even reporting cyber threats is the essence of cybersecurity defense. And you only get this through knowledge when you understand the threats and how to identify them. When you have confidence in how to make secure decisions, and when you have the right tools to block some of these attacks. Building a firewall demands a culture of shared responsibility and continuous awareness. It's not something we do once and we forget. It's something we need to do continuously. If we have sessions like this, we don't just do it, and we don't just do it once and forget. Because threat is evolving, we need to continue having this kind of discussion with ourselves, with our employees, with our staff, with our vendors, with our partners, so that everyone form part of that formidable defense. So what are the common threats targeting people? We have phishing, or which Jide has also spoke about. Jide also spoke about fraudulent emails, messages that are designed to steal sensitive data, sensitive information from people. Smishing, this is when it's done through SMS. Quishing, we now have QR codes that we use to make payments and register for a lot of things. Cyber criminals have also devised means to camouflage those QR codes, to retrieve sensitive details from people. Spear phishing, these are highly targeted attacks using personal information to appear legitimate. This is when they craft your a very good targeted email for your person. Yeah, when you're seeing private things that are very private to you in a phishing mail, just to create trust that will allow you release sensitive details. Then phishing, sometimes you receive calls that tells you a lot of things about your bank, a lot of things about your organization, but in the end, they're trying to get sensitive and privileged information from you. Then AI-driven scams, we see a lot of voice cloning, deep fake videos and all that today. Even in Zoom calls, they've mastered that art. Someone comes in a Zoom call, plays a video from his own side. You think it's the CEO or CFO talking, and he gives an instruction, and everybody believes he was part of that meeting. And in the end, when you verify at the end or after you've carried out that instruction, you find out that that person never attended that meeting. So these are common threats targeting people today, and we'll look at how we can stay ahead of all this. Phishing is the most common threat, and we can see why people fall for phishing emails. Yeah, that false urgency is always there. When you see mails telling you that you should act now or use your access, quickly click or quickly claim your prize and all those stuff, or curiosity. You see emails, you've received a package you were never expecting. Or even if you were expecting it, that curiosity could lead someone to click a malicious email. Then also fear also. Fear is also part of it. Your account has been compromised, blah, blah, blah. Congratulations, you've won a particular prize. All this can lead people to divulge sensitive details that can be used against them or against their organization. And the rule is always to stay vigilant, verify sender identity, check for suspicious link, never share sensitive details via email. If in doubt, always confirm through another channel. So these are some examples of phishing where you could see some red flags. You look at the source of the email is not it's not the same as where it says it's coming from. See, non-legitimate email address, the generic greeting. These days they've even perfected it. It can come directly with your name, dear Chika, dear Nonso, and all that. But these are some red flags, suspicious link. You see those suspicious link within the email. Sometimes they are hidden. They just want you to click. You see all those another link, learn more, and just letting you to, urging you to click. And that's how people get into divulge their sensitive details. Another example, I think this is more common, where you receive an email purportedly coming from Microsoft about your maybe your system is under threat and all that. You see that it kind of instigates fear, urgency, and try to lure you to click on those links. Another is password reset. Your password has expired and all that. But if you look clearly, you can see that the source is not even coming from Microsoft. You can see, but because people just look at the heading and the urgency of, you see an email saying in the next 24 hours, you'll be locked out and all that. All those things lead people to click and fall for such malicious emails. But you also see red flags there, grammatical errors. But today, with the with generative AI, ChatGPT and co, you might not be seeing grammatical errors in emails anymore. You see perfectly crafted emails, but if you look very well, some of those red flags will still be there. So how do we identify these phishing emails? You see unfamiliar sender address. Always check the actual address, not just the display name. Check where the source is coming from. Then you see generic greetings, urgent language with threats and pressure. So act immediately. You see suspicious link, you see poor grammar. Of course, I mentioned it earlier that today you might not see poor grammar because the perpetrators might now leverage AI tools to craft those emails. Then inconsistent branding, look at the quality of the logos and all that. Those are some of the things you can check. Then beyond email, we also have smishing, phishing, and quishing. I think I've touched on this earlier. But remember, if it looks too urgent, too secret, too good to be true, it's probably too risky to click. So we'll now look at, after this, we'll look at practical ways of staying smart, staying cyber smart, and securing ourselves and our organization. We still see people using weak credentials, and they reuse these credentials across many platforms. These are juicy items for cyber criminals, because when any of those platforms is breached and the credentials are dumped in a certain site, they go there and pick those credentials, and they try using those credentials on several other platforms, hoping that they hit a jackpot. So as much as possible, let us use unique password across platforms, especially the ones that have sensitive details about us. Social engineering, I always say that is the most dangerous weapon of cyber criminals, because they don't need to start creating malware. They don't need to start creating exploits. They just need to exploit that human psychology and get what they want. Their research has shown that they can get a lot of details from social media to target their victim with plausible stories and with the final aim to extract credentials or convince them to perform some certain actions. I'll quickly run through the rest. We've seen AI-driven scams to voice cloning, fake videos, realistic messages that are created with AI and that even mimic our writing style and communication patterns. So how do we now start building a human firewall? As an organization, we should conduct frequent and realistic simulations. Yeah, we don't do all those phishing email that even a 5-year-old we flag it. Yeah, create scenarios that are normal, that are realistic with our normal working activities. For procurement team that receive invoices from partners, create some of those scenarios. HR normally sends some kind of emails, salary increase and all those things. Simulate those kind of, but let all the red flags be there and see how your organization, how people you work with are able to identify some of those things. Yeah, the more frequent we do these things, people become alert. Yes, and we should also try as much as possible. I will mention it in subsequent slide, not to victimize people. Make it easy for people to report, even when they click on those emails. When they click on those emails and reports, you do not victimize them. You encourage them to do this, because the time it takes to detect and the time it takes to recover and contain an incident is very important. The longer that time is, the more damage it does to the business. So when we encourage people to report as soon as when they see something, they say something, it's very easy for the security team, the IT team to contain that incident. Then we have a zero trust mindset. Let's encourage employees, our partners, our vendors, people we work with, even our family, to have that zero trust mindset. Yes, I trust you, but I need to verify. And we should not be afraid to ask questions. Yeah, instill that habit of independent verification. Pause before clicking, double check sender addresses, hover around links to be sure that you're not clicking something wrong. And when in doubt, stop, ask questions, report to the security team. If we have a channel, a structured channel of reporting, it will be very easy for employees, for partners, for vendors to report issues that they see suspicious. That will really help the business. Okay. So I'll also talk about also practice prudent sharing, protect communication. Be mindful of what you share on social media, because these are some of the things that help cyber criminals. There's what we call open source intelligence. They look out for those things that are out there and use it to craft a persona that they can use to target an individual. So the more you share out there, the more vulnerable you are. Avoid posting specific work details, travel itineraries, and your personal information. You don't need all those things. Your children, your pictures, your date, anniversary, all those things. There are some things you don't need to post online because the threat landscape has changed. What we were fighting against 10, 15 years ago has really evolved. Because today a lot can be, at times I go online and check what is available about me. You understand? We should do this often and as much as possible, reduce what you share online about yourself, about your workplace, about your colleagues, about people within your family. Then when you need critical to make critical decisions or approve things, try and verify using an out of band verification. You get an email, an SMS coming from a senior manager or a senior management staff, a CEO, CFO, via email. You can confirm through Teams or via call. Do not confirm with the same channel because you might be talking to the cyber criminal. You can call back use a separate channel to get confirmation before you take any decision that could affect either you or your organization. So password hygiene, also very good. Your password is not a secret, is a key. Try and use as much as possible. Try and use passphrases. We still see people use password 123. People use their date of birth and all this. All these leave you vulnerable to cyber criminals because they can get details about you from so many places and guess your password. You could use passphrases. Those have been seen to be stronger and more difficult to crack. Then wherever you have access, whatever you have credentials or whatever platform you find yourself, social media, your work platform, as long as there is multi-factor authentication, it will be very good to enable it. It's very good because when you lose your credentials, these are some of the things that protect you from account takeover. Never use password. Update your password regularly. Yeah, some people have not changed their password since they created their first personal email, and that's not good. Yeah, try and update your password regularly. Either after every 90 days, you can do that annually, but always change your passwords. Yeah, those platforms where you created those accounts, most of them have been breached several times in the past. So as much as possible, change your password. Password are like toothbrushes, change them often and don't share them. Device discipline, always lock your screen. Use approved apps and drives, keep your software updated, secure communication. These are a discipline that can help you stay smart and not leave you vulnerable to cyber criminals. So this slide talks about reporting. We should report fast so that we can recover faster. An incident occurs, even if you click the link, you open the attachment, or you've even shared your info. Report quickly to the IT or the security team so that they can quickly kickstart the recovery process. Yeah, the earlier we report, the better it is for us to recover. So this just speaks on reporting, make reporting easy. Yeah, you can, for email platforms, email clients, you can put a report phishing button there, so it's easy for people to click and report to the security team. Acknowledge and praise those who report security threats. Acknowledge them. It reinforces positive behavior. Verify content. So I think this should be my last, second to the last slide. Educate employees to handle sensitive data securely. Identify your high-risk vendors, and also put security around that area. Enforce security requirements as you enter contract with your vendors and partners, either on a personal level or within your organization. So on a final note, we can all be a firewall by staying alert, staying secure, and staying cyber smart. The final note, you should know that fraudsters succeed when they rely on urgency. The attacker wants you to act quickly, and they also want you to act without thinking. So whether it's a suspicious mail, a payment request, or a call from someone claiming to be from IT, from security, or from top management, the moment you feel rushed, the moment you suspect any foul play, the moment you are pressured, that's your cue to pause. Pause, reflect before you take action. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Obiora. Thank you for expanding our horizon on how to be cyber smart. Thank you so much. At this point, we're going to be taking questions. We're going to be taking our questions. I'm going to be reading out the questions as written in the Q&A box. Our first question is from Olaoluwafemi Babalola. Is Nigeria an equal target as the United States? Back in 2012, we couldn't see database hacking here as in the USA, but in 10 years now, it has gotten to Nigeria. What is the diffusion rate, and can we proactively study the USA and prepare ahead? That's our first question.
How do you want us to answer it?
Yes, please, sir.
Okay, I'll just take a turn at it. Thank you so much, Olaoluwa. The first, that take it from two perspectives. First, on data. We could look at the difference between the hacking rate as a performance or as an indicator between the United States and Nigeria or Africa. The data, there's something called data bias. And with bias in data, I could be reporting data. This could skew the rate that we are interested in or the statistic. While I do not have enough data to ascertain this rate, but I would say that it is linked to how lucrative the target is and how well reported the issue is. If people do not know that they are hacked, then it cannot be reported. And if it's not reported, we cannot measure. Over the years, there have been improvement in reporting guidelines, reporting requirements, regulatory requirements around reporting. And therefore, we have seen an increase in the robustness of control deployment and security posture in Nigeria. I want to say Nigeria compares favorably with other countries. Now, I'll soon finish. Now, controls are meant to be customized to the environment and the lucrativeness or what is being protected. A Google or a Facebook will not be compared to another company in Nigeria, given the rate at which the type of controls will be deployed. If you look at the two balance sheet, there'll be a marked difference of what they could afford. Now, what does this mean? Customize your environment, you can deploy security and maintain comparable level of security. to make that database hacking you call much more difficult. Simple things such as secure configurations, security by design, good processes, good practices and patching can make it virtually extremely difficult for hackers to gain access to your database. Typically, not even exposing the database is one of the first things, and ensuring that your applications and your database they meet the minimum security requirements that you have defined in your organization or comparably globally. Thank you so much. I don't want to dwell too much on this topic. Obiora, thank you so much. You can have it.
Sorry, I might to answer the same question. Sorry.
Okay,
Hello?
Mr. Obiora, we have another question here. Can you hear me, Mr. Obiora?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
What is the vulnerability of having Google recommendation on password save? On the password it saves for you. I'll take that
Okay.
again. What is the vulnerability of having Google recommendations on password and saves it for you?
Okay, I want to assume the person is asking if Google recommends a password for you and you save it on your browser. If that's what it entails, I think that's a wrong practice. Google can recommend a password for you, but I do tell people not to save their passwords on the browser, because as an attacker, one of the first things, as an ethical hacker, of course, one of the first things we do is to look at for repositories within your system after account takeover, after compromising your system. Yeah, look out for those places, your browsers, where you possibly will have people store passwords on their Google Chrome, on their Edge browser, whatever browser you're using, because a lot of people still do that, and it's a very wrong. Is a very wrong practice, because someone that takes over your system is able to download all those passwords and they have access to all those platforms, especially the ones that do not have multi-factor authentication. So I do advise people to use a password manager. I think Google has has a password manager, but you can use a password manager to create password and also vault all your passwords. Yeah. Whenever you go to a site that you want to log in your credential, it prompts you to pick your password from the password manager. So I think a good practice, use a password manager. Bad practice, do not store your password on your Google browser.
Thank you, Mr. Obiora. We have a few more questions here. I'm thinking I should read it out, and we'll get the answers to those questions as soon as I read them out, because the questions are coming in. We have a few more to go. Okay. How do you actually determine a call by a hacker or a fraudster using international call line to talk to you? That's one question. What are the best practices to recover from ransomware attack? I'll take one more question, then I'll leave it between Mr. Obiora and Mr. Jide to answer. The last one is, how critical is the role of CISO to an organization today? Isn't a strategy and mind-level management personnel to drive cybersecurity and the enterprise security posture enough, especially when in-depth technical knowledge isn't as important to a CISO as much as a chief technology who has an overall charge over networking, business, security, and applications? I think this will be all the questions we will take for today's webinar.
Okay, I can start from the last question. How critical is the role of CISO to an organization today? Isn't it strategy and belief? Okay, so it's depending on our understanding of a CISO role. Yeah. There are a number of organizations where the CISO reports to the CTO or the CIO or some other persons. But in financial institutions, you know that the CBN has mandated that the CISO must report to the MD. And why is it so? Because for you to give the management or the board an independent assessment posture of the organization, it would not be proper for you, whoever is doing your appraisal, and you're trying to show that the organization is maybe you're bringing up control failures, you're bringing up issues, vulnerabilities that they've repeatedly failed to deal with. Yeah, you're bringing it up at the management meeting. Meanwhile, the CIO or the CTO still be the one to do the appraisal. You understand? You won't have that independence. Yeah. So to have independence, I think CTO handles technology related issues, availability, why the security, the CISO make sure that those things meet security standards. Those things meet some agreed board level policies, regulatory policies, and all that. Yeah. So I think it's a check and balance thing, and it works well if both roles report to the MD. So it's very much important, because there are some issues that the CISO might want to bring up. If he's a low, if he's the level of such a person is if he's a middle manager or maybe below a manager role, there are some discussions that he cannot get into. There are some level of meetings he cannot be there to talk about some of the issues he's facing. Yeah. So I think it's very necessary, especially those organizations regulated by the CBN, to have a CISO that are par with the CIO, the CTO, so that he's able to make decision and stand against some of the some issues that might put the organization into jeopardy. Yeah, so it's very important to have a CISO. Yeah, and it's much more important to have that person occupy a very senior role. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Obiora. Mr. Jide, I don't know if you have any last takeouts.
Let me take the first question. How do you know an international number? Basically, I believe that he or she's trying to ask, how do you detect that the person calling you at the other end of a communication line is dubious, is a hacker? On the face value, it's difficult to ascertain what it is. By the time you verify, you will be able to know. Cues to help you do the verification will be, what is the motive? What's the end goal? What is the ask? Someone calls, they say, hey, hello, how are you doing? There's no ask. But then there could be a motive. I don't know this number. Why is the person calling me? Are they setting you up preparing you for a kill, if I use the language, for a scam? So your intuition also will help you. By questioning, verifying, and trying to understand what the motive is, it will lead you to the answer. That's my submission on that. Thank you. Then the second question, could you remind me what it is again?
Okay. The second question is, what are best practices to recover from ransomware attack?
Two best practices I would recommend. One, incident management process, well-defined, practiced, and simulated. That would help make the recovery process structured, communication with external regulators, if you are regulated, with external parties who consume your services, and within internally, and with the executives. It will follow a structured path that has been well thought out before an issue occurred. The second will be backups, disaster recovery, testing. With that, once you have tested prior, before an incident, then you understand what you need to do when an incident happens. If you don't do this, then you might find yourself in murky waters or hot water. Those are the two best practices I would recommend. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jide. That'll be all we can take for today. It's been an amazing and insightful session. We've been equipped with knowledge on how to be vigilant and also ensure that we play our parts to protect our organization from cyber threats. I will now be calling on the HOD of Technology Operations, Mr. Tolulope Ajayi, as he delivers the closing remark and summarize takeaways from today's webinar. Thank you. Mr. Tolulope.
Thank you very much, Ugochi. Thank you all for joining today's Cybersecurity Awareness webinar. To the CEO, NGX, Mr. Chemeka, thank you for your unwavering support in our quest to be cyber smart. To our expert speakers, Jide and Obiora, thank you for your insight and reminding us of our shared responsibility. To everyone present on this call, let's be reminded that each of us has a role to play in keeping our data and organizations and our nation secure. So let's take the lessons from today and turn the awareness into action. Really, it's really a call to action by staying alert, staying secure, and staying cyber smart every day. So there is no, so to say, public holiday when it comes to cybersecurity. Take it as a full-time job, 24/7, and really, like we are saying, the humans, you and I, play a pivotal role, in safeguarding or in determining how well, technology that has been put in place really works, right? So thank you once again and have a safe, connected, and secure day ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.